Being back in Trinidad, I was largely part of a majority culture. There was a majority of Black and Afro-Trinidadian and one of Indo-Trinidadians. So I was still like part of the majority. Whereas moving to Newfoundland, I was hyper visible, hyper aware, and that has a whole different texture to everything. It actually feels vastly, vastly different. Ravensong grew out of the fact that I was tired being a teacher without being paid to be a teacher. I had a coworker ask me at the lunch table, "Why do Black women wear wigs? It's because their hair doesn't grow." And I'm just like, how can I respond without losing my job? How can I respond without making people think that I am scary and then afraid to speak to me? But how do I also put this person in their place? Because find somebody else to play with. So I explained to her how many people wear extensions, mostly white women. I said, and actually, my hair doesn't grow down, it grows up. So how can we compare? She switched the conversation. And I was just like, yeah, anyway, Ravensong really started around late 2020. I wanted to do a camp that focused on all things to do with cultural inclusion and racism and just deconstructing the ideas of the otherness we have of Black people or racialized people. That camp was the very first thing that we did. And then it happened the next year because I would make a joke. The kids started treating me like Rihanna, asking me, "When's the next camp? When's the next album?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, soon, it's coming, it's coming." St. John's is a place based on relationships, and it's a place based on credibility. So if you don't have those things, then what are you going to do? I kind of started out by just showing up and also talking. And even though it didn't always make people happy, I would still talk and I would still share. Just tell myself something, I'm like, oh, why do you have to be so slow? Because like I wish I could show up and do these things and print out stuff and all of these things that are intrinsic to having a successful business. And I'm just like, yeah, well, no, I'm not living that. It's just really, really tough being disabled and trying to be an entrepreneur. And I am already not an entrepreneur background. I'm an educator. So I feel like if like my counterparts kind of outpace me in that way. There was this one time, there was this really, really elderly lady running behind me saying, "Wait, hello, wait." She's like, "I just want to say thank you for being you. You don't know me, but my granddaughter, she came to your camp, and since she came to your camp, she's been acting so much more like herself. She's not afraid to take up space, and she's been so much more vocal." And then it clicked back to me. She was talking about a little girl who I had met, and I always remember this little girl because she had such a big personality, and being biracial, she was mostly Black presenting, and that plays a bigger role than one might think, because what you look like in the mirror in comparison to all the other feminine people around, or what you perceive as femininity that doesn't look you as thin, tall, white, it's really hard to see yourself in that. I always stay in contact with her. I became one of those aunties who write on her little Instagram like, "Good job, beautiful, getting so big." I'm like, oh, when did I turn into my mom's friends? Like, what gives me hope is that things just can't stay the same. Like, I always see these experiences like waves in Maracas Ocean. That's like the really popular beach back home. Now the waves are really, really rough. And it's just like all of these things comes in waves. Whenever we see a period of transition and things coming for the better, we also see things not so well.